Think about what it would be like to live on another planet, say Mars, a world entirely different from everything that you have ever known on this home planet called Earth. How soon do you think that humans could achieve colonization of the infamous Red Planet? Believe it or not, this great feat might be in the history books within your lifetime. Elon Musk and his rocket company, SpaceX, are making leaps and bounds in the process of this achievement. According to SpaceX's timeline, humans could have boots on the ground on the planet as soon as 2025, most sure 2018. The number one impedance upon the progress of space exploration has always been the extreme cost of this. This is the central focus of the progress that SpaceX has been making since its founding in 2002. The high cost did not stem from fuels required to push the rocket into space. Instead, by far the most expensive thing was always building the rocket itself. Destined only to be used once before hurtling back to Earth into the ocean, completely unfit for reuse. This is where SpaceX came in. The focus of its research has been to develop rockets that can be used again and again, only requiring the cost of maintenance and fuel in order to be ready for launch again. You may have seen the videos of some of their rockets falling back to the Earth, only to land themselves perfectly on a platform standing straight up. This reduction in cost has caused much more interest and support for research into space travel. In order to get to Mars, this same concept of a reusable rocket will be utilized on a much bigger scale. The rocket will push a spaceship into space before falling back to the Earth to be used again and again, while the spaceship will detach in orbit and be on its merry way to Mars. It has recently been estimated that SpaceX's mission to Mars could cost as little as $300 million, Pearson 2016. In the realm of space travel, this is extremely cheap. SpaceX, unlike NASA, is a private company that is not funded by the government. And so, in order to stay running, it must make a profit somehow. Right now, much of their research is funded by private proprietors and the aid of Elon Musk himself. In the long run, though, this technology of reusability is meant to be the next innovation in global transport. It will be like an airplane, but much, much faster. A normal flight from New York to Hong Kong will take almost 16 hours on a nonstop flight. With a rocket, it can be done in a little over 30 minutes, flight time. Once the technology is streamlined and all the bugs are worked out, it is estimated that the cost will rival that of a plane ticket. Or it could even be cheaper. People will naturally be wary at first, just like people were of flying, but it will naturally come around to be a dominant mode of long-distance travel. Not just on our planet, but possibly across the whole solar system. SpaceX could replace Boeing as the developer of transportation for tomorrow. Using those rockets that we mentioned before, supplies could be dropped on Mars 100 tons at a time, providing enough supplies to keep a small colony of people going for months at a time. Mars 2016. Here I have a diagram of many of the rockets used by SpaceX and countries around the globe. Falcon Heavy outweighs, in payload terms, the next highest competitor by almost 3 times. Water can be created from carbon dioxide and hydrogen released into the atmosphere, and oxygen can be grown from plants in greenhouse rooms. The long-term plan for survival on Mars is a topic of much more skepticism and debate. The ultimate goal is to terraform Mars to become much more of an Earth-like planet. There are many theories on how to do this, ranging from releasing greenhouse gases in the soil and ice caps to warm the planet, all the way to redirecting meteors to generate atmospheres. Mosher 2018. Obviously, this is all highly theoretical, but the ultimate goal is to essentially create an Earth 2.0 out of Mars. In conclusion, we have a plan for transit and funding, even if the long term might not be clearly defined. The prospect of multiplanetary life is not to be taken lightly. Humans could be looking up at the stars from a planet other than the one that we currently call our own. Fear not. There are already more than 2,000 people signed up as volunteers for the first manned mission to Mars, so participation and willingness seem to be of no issue. Who knows? Maybe I'll see you on Mars one day. Thank you.